I'm Dave Kirby, one of the partners at Summit Salon Business Center and also the Senior Director of Development. And so excited to have a few minutes with you. We're going to talk about the 4 pillars today. Let's talk about the first pillar or core principle at Summit called sound financial practices. One of the things that we spend a lot of time talking about at Summit is about understanding budgets, understanding your money better. And I just want to reiterate that if you're someone who came into the industry through the creative channel, which is to typically say that you were a service provider, chances are when you started out as a business owner, you did not have a high priority on understanding the financial stuff because that isn't really our go-to. But as soon as you become a business owner or a leader or a manager, it becomes readily apparent how important those things are. So, working with your coach, we talk a lot about helping you understand your own budget, setting sales plans, doing forecasting, cash flow analysis. But I do just want to recommend, if you're somebody who struggles with that part of it, to really just be in the space of, if I can get some help with this and understand 3 or 4 things that I need to do daily, weekly, or monthly relative to my money, it's almost, to me, it's like doing a consultation with a client in the chair as a service provider, where this conversation we're going to have at the beginning of our time together is really just both of us getting in agreement of what we want the end picture to look like when our time together is done. So whether it's working with a coach, working with your accountant, or gaining some information or insight from Summit Salon community, just think of it in those terms of, I want to gather enough so I know the 3 or 4 things I have to do and be comfortable with so that I can better manage my financial picture. And obviously, at Summit, we're teaching you how to bring in more money, but probably a higher priority than that is helping you make sure that you're able to keep more of the money that you're making. So I'm trusting that those principles are starting to fall into place for you. The second pillar or key principle at Summit is around compensation and career path. And if you recall from Summit, one of the things that we say there is that if you want to build a sustainably great company, everybody in your building needs to know what they have to do to earn their next raise. And whenever that's in question or whenever that's in doubt, people feel insecure about their careers or they feel insecure about the place where they're trying to execute their career. So it's really important for you as a leader, whether you're the owner, the manager, or simply part of the leadership group of your company, to be really clear about what that career path looks like, to be able to explain to people what the journey can be and show them what's possible in your company. If you've already been working with a coach, you have tools in place like your price level worksheet, which shows the prices for all 6 levels on the career path, as well as the commission rates and all the other benefits that go with that. So your monthly one-on-one meetings or PDMs, professional development meetings, are all designed to help people along that journey on that career path. So very important for you as a leader to just sort of be engaged with that. I just want to repeat something that we told you at Summit and that we try to say a lot, that my dream does not have to be your dream. So if I have a service provider on my team who wants to be a level 1 and wants to stay there, camp out there for a couple of years, as long as they are a nice person and a productive team member, we are happy to have them. You are going to have people on your team that they see that career path, and to them it's a race to the end and they want to be the first one to get there. And some of us as business owners sort of have that personality trait where we're very competitive, we're very career oriented, but it's really important for us to be mindful that this roadmap is designed to show people what's possible to whatever degree they're willing to do the work. So it doesn't serve you or them to be frustrated that they're not moving through it as quickly as you hoped they would or that you think they could. This is all about each person designing their journey and making it clear to people that your raise is up to you. And here are the tools, here's the coaching that supports that. And I think that if you can embrace that career path and that level system, one of the things that becomes apparent to you as a leader is that we have opportunities for people for all the stages of their personal lives. So we have training to help them get off to a great start through the associate program. We have coaching and mentoring that helps them earn promotions and level jumps if they choose to. We also have flexible scheduling so that when the career isn't their top priority, perhaps family has taken a front seat, we have the ability to offer them that as well. But at each step of the way, they know what they need to do to earn their next raise, and they know what they need to do to earn the income that they want to earn. So using those tools going to be very important to building a sustainable company. The third principle or pillar, marketing and branding. You probably recall hearing the term market leader multiple times if you've attended many of our classes. And really what that designation of becoming the market leader simply says that when people in our community think of beauty, we're the brand that they think of. And whatever it is that you specialize in, whether it be no appointment, value-priced haircutting, to barbershop, to lash bar, to full-service salon and spa, we simply want to be one of the brands that people in our community think of when they think of beauty. So a couple of things that are important for you to be mindful of on this journey. One is that there's a percentage of the community that is willing to spend above average money to do business with a market leader. And this doesn't just apply to beauty. You could look at things like luxury automobiles. 8% of the population will spend above average money to drive a luxury automobile, or to have a fine dining experience, or to have designer labels on their clothing, handbags, and shoes. 8% of the population will spend above average money for a market leader experience in the beauty sector. And it's just important for you to know that they're not concerned about price until the experience is less than they expected. So what they're shopping for is a great experience. They're not just looking for value. So it's important for us to coach our teams to recognize that when people come to us, the totality of the experience is what we're going to be measured on. And I think it's important for us as leaders to note that, in the average salon in Middle America, when a customer gets a cut, a color, and a highlight of some sort, consumer's going to spend $200 to $250. But in those same salons, when a service provider or an employee of your company gets those three services, they're typically paying product costs, which might be in the neighborhood of $20. So hopefully it's obvious to you that that gap between trying to sell something for $200 every day that they only pay $20 for requires a little bit of just reinforcement and just some sort of care and feeding. So important for us to help remind our teams that when people come to us, they're just looking for a great experience, and if that's there, price will not be an issue. The other sort of conversation we've been having around marketing and branding these days is that 10 years ago, you had complete control over the brand message, and everything people in your community knew about your company, they found out from you. Today, because of social media and review sites, your consumers are having a huge voice in how people perceive your company and perceive your brand. So if I'm a new consumer in your community, I'm sort of checking out all the salons and spas in the market, and I'm reading a whole bunch of customer reviews of your company. Those reviews have created an expectation for me before I even walk in the door, even though you might not be aware that those things were being said. But if I've read multiple reviews that this place is super professional, super friendly, and they do an amazing consultation, and then I show up to your brand and I don't get a great consultation, or I don't get a consultation at all, or I don't have a friendly service provider, or I don't feel like I'm in a professional environment, even though those weren't your words that created that brand promise, my perception as a customer is that's who you are and what you do, and when I don't get it, I feel a little deprived in the experience. So it's a new best practice for you to really pay attention to what consumers are saying about you in your community. Don't waste all of your energy on the one crazy person that never came to your salon but wrote a nasty review. They can burn up a lot of energy. But let's see what our real customers are saying about us, and then let's make sure that we're training our teams to deliver an experience that matches what that expectation is. The fourth and final pillar is leadership and culture. And if you recall at Summit, one of the things that we said to you on Sunday morning is that everything that's wrong or lacking in your company right now is there because you've allowed it to be there. And another way that we say that is what you permit, you promote. So all the times that we thought we had a rule or an understanding, someone violated that rule or understanding, and then we didn't address it or have a conversation about it, we were basically saying to the rest of our team, we have a rule, but it doesn't really matter. Or we have a rule, but it only matters if you don't bring in a lot of money. So one of the things that's important for you to do as a leader is to really think about, do I have great systems behind me that tell me what good is? And when I say what good is, I'm talking about for your company and for the individual people that you're coaching. And whenever there's fuzziness or lack of clarity around those things, chances are people are not going to be able to live up to their own expectations, let alone the expectations of the company. The other key to being a great leader is having consistency around the way that you guide and lead people. So if you're the kind of leader that has multiple personalities, which many of us do, as a leader, you want to be as consistent as you can so that when your employees walk in the door, they're not wondering which version of you is going to be leading them today. Because whenever that happens, we have trouble getting people to follow along with our vision. Very difficult for us to get people moving in the same direction. And we say it all the time, but the leader needs to be the calmest person in the room and needs to be the calmest person in the conversation. So it's important for you to have clarity around what is our vision, what is our purpose, what are the values that we have as a company, and then make sure that the systems and behaviors that we're exhibiting on a daily basis are matching those values and those beliefs. And whenever there's a gap between our words and our actions, our leadership starts to diminish in the eyes of the people that we employ. So those four pillars are very crucial to your success. I often describe these four pillars or these four principles as being like the four legs of a table. And if you've ever sat at a table where one leg is shorter than the other three, at the very least it's irritating. But it can actually be dangerous when one of those four legs is way shorter than the other. And if you just take an honest assessment of your own company, look at those four pillars, and ask yourself, which of those is the short leg at my table? Then whether it's choosing a program to attend next, whether it's a conversation I should have with my coach next, or whether it's information I should be seeking here on community from other salon owners and other peers, then I want to make sure that I'm sort of filling in the cracks on the short leg at my table so that I'm able to have a well-rounded, stable business and one that can not only prosper today, but can be sustainable over a long period of time. So thank you so much for being a part of this conversation, and I can't wait till we're together again to discuss another topic.